Hello everyone and welcome to the Snead Competition Design Xfinity Series here at Atlanta. Tonight is brought to you by the Georgia Peach 125 where the championship is on the line. And joining me tonight, we have a new guest in the booth. David, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Tim. This is going to be pretty much very interesting championship race of the season. And while this is my first time around this part, I'm going to see what's going on. I'm guessing there's going to be a pretty tight points battle. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to go on and who's going to win the championship at the end of the night.
Yeah, so the championship was determined by, they had a chase style format. So if you won a race, you got locked in here tonight at Atlanta. So it's 4 guys racing out for the championship, and I'm trying to find where I had my point standings. I've got so many windows, I always forget where I put things. Let's see really quick.
Well, if that's going to be the case, then it's surely going to shape up to be an interesting one with 4 guys going for it. So it would be 4 guys to the finish. There is any stage points on the line for any of the other drivers, or?
Yes, there are stage points. We have 3 stages, like a normal race. And it looks like, so the 4 guys running for the championship here tonight, all tied at 2,000 points. So it's anybody's race tonight. Every point is going to count. We've got Rhett Tucker, who has 6 wins on the season. Gabriel Ellison, who has 5 wins on the season. Dylan Falovich, who has a win. And Clinton Castleberry, who also has a win. So you've got a very great group of guys running for that championship spot tonight here at Atlanta.
Very competitive numbers, I can see that. So, first to the line gets the championship, I assume.
Exactly. You're going to want to be on the top of your game every single lap, every single stage ending, because it's just going to come down to, you're really going to have to win it. You're going to have to win the race to win the championship here tonight.
See, that's going to be the case. Qualifying is going to be very important, I would assume, given the stage races. You want to get right up front and stay there for the most of the race. I would assume there's going to be one cycle of pitting, considering that Atlanta is a very worn-out track. So there might be some tire wear, some fuel mileage as in the cards tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of tire wear, they can go about 40 to 45 laps on fuel. And they're only allowed 3 tire changes here tonight. So that's going to be very key. Who's going to save their tires and for when?
That's a very interesting strategy in play, whether or not people go like each stage, halfway. Let's see who's going to stretch it and who's not going to. This is going to be the championship race, and it's going to shape up to be an interesting one.
And for right now, Clinton Castleberry, who is in the championship hunt, is right now on the pole with a 31.43. While in second place right now, Dylan Falovich, he ran a 31.45. So even their qualifying times are showing the championship material here tonight.
Very close right there on the front row. Now, if they were to wreck on the first lap, which is most likely not going to happen, would they have a reset?
No, they will not.
Very key that they don't win it in turn 1, as most people say on iRacing. It's going to shape up to be very interesting whether or not they do or do not. This could leave way for a lot of other drivers to both get a win and the championship.
So something I want to point out here in my notes that I totally messed up. So with these 4 guys in the championship hunt tonight, none of them receive stage points for any of the stages. So it's literally who is going to finish the highest out of those 4 guys here tonight. And with those statistics also, out of the 4 guys, they've won 13 out of the 14 races that we had this season.
Very impressive statistics.
So right now, seeing who is out on the track. See if we can't. Looks like Rhett Tucker is out on pit road, about to make his qualifying attempt.
It's going to be very interesting whether or not he gets a good run. I'm thinking the qualifying is going to be one of the most important parts of this race. If they're not going to get any stage points for the championship or the drivers going for their first win this season, it's all about qualifying time.
And it's going to be interesting to see how the other guys in the field kind of, if they're going to, you know, give the guys up there running for the championship some space, or are they going to go out there and prove themselves as to, for the next season in the Xfinity Series, to say, hey, you know, next season, watch out for me.
You know, they may as well be collecting notes for the next season, given the fact that I would assume that it's going to be very similar, considering Xfinity Series runs a lot of the same tracks each year. It's going to be all a testing and tuning session for the next season, where they may go out and win the championship.
Exactly. It looks like Rhett Tucker got a little loose there going into turn 1. We'll see how it's going to affect his lap time.
Yeah, he's running about the middle line compared to some of the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars going all the way to the inside. So let's see if this brings some good results.
Brings him up to 3rd right now, running a 31.52. He's going to need about 9/10 of a second.
It's a lot to make up in one lap, but let's see if he's got it.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. 9,000th of a second. So it's tight, but we'll see as he comes across the line here. No, he was slower that second lap, running a 31.59.
Very possible that incident where he got a little loose could have caused that. Maybe tire wear or something.
Yeah, and now Gabriel Ellison, another guy in the championship hunt, coming across the start-finish line for his first lap. Oh, straight to the pole with a 31.40.
And that's going to be the best lap for the championship 4, given the fact that the other drivers have already went.
And fantastic first lap. Doesn't even need to improve if he doesn't want to.
There's no need to throw another car, even though it wouldn't affect anything. You certainly got it on lock tonight. Or at least in the qualifying session. You never know what's going to happen in the race. With all 4 starting up front,
true.
You know, it's going to cause something. Or it could cause something. I'm not going to say. These guys, they have most of the wins, so I would assume they know something that a lot of these other guys don't.
Right.
And coming around the second lap, what do you get?
Oh, second lap he ran a 31.45, so he was a little bit slower, but even then it still would have put him in second place had he not ran that first lap.
Very good lap times. Very good lap times.
And as you can see there, he actually came down pit road to possibly practice that entry, because the entry here at Atlanta is not an easy one coming off of turn 4.
As shown in some real races, including the Cup one, this can be a very tricky track when it comes to the pit road exit, and even on pit road, and the entrance as well.
And right now, Dustin Scruggs out there in that number 11 ran a 31.57 on his first lap.
Not bad numbers coming that time by.
Actually, it looks like he already ran both of his laps. He's just out there still turning some laps, getting, you know, a little bit more practice in while we wait for the end of qualifying to come to a close.
Makes sense. The way the qualifying works compared to real races, it's a far different time scale, so to speak. So
Right.
it makes sense to get more experience with how the car would drive. Even though with other people on the track it's going to be far different, getting some experience out up front by yourself is very crucial when it comes to these races.
It looks like for tonight we have 8. Looks like we got about 10 drivers making the field tonight. 4 of them making their way for that championship. And right now, and it looks like all 4 are going to start up front in the first 4 positions, which we expected.
Very interesting, and with that being, it's nearly half-half, so I wonder if those other half, or 6 drivers, would let off for the championship 4, at least in the beginning, or come back stronger in the later part of this race.
And I just, I've been waiting all week for this race, David, and I just can't help, I just keep playing different scenarios out in my head. You know, if you're in 4th place in the championship 4, and there's a pit stop coming up, are you going to be that guy that has to, that short pits, because maybe you don't have the speed the other guys have, and you short pit tonight, and it comes down to the end, and those guys may run out of fuel, because even earlier this year, Gabriel Ellison, who is in the championship 4, he ran out of gas on the last lap coming to the checkered flag and ultimately lost that win. So that same thing could happen here tonight.
You do not want to make a mistake when it comes to fuel and tires, especially on a track like Atlanta. And with the championship on the line, I would assume that all 4 of these drivers are either going to be very cautious or stretch it out as much as they can.
Well, that is the end of qualifying. 125 laps here tonight. I'm so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am for this race. I waited all season. Everybody has been here watching at 10-4 broadcasting every race, every Wednesday, and it's kind of bittersweet for me that it's ending. You know.
Well, it's certainly going to go out with a bang with these 10 drivers and 4 of them competing for this championship.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a fantastic field tonight. Clinton Snead starting in 6th position in that number 49. The guys are getting gridded up right now.
We are certainly going to see one incredible show with these stakes on the line, you know. It all comes down to whether or not they're going to play it safe or not. I mean, I've said that before, but when it comes to iRacing, a lot of people tend to be a little more aggressive than what they would do in like real life, given the fact that you can't necessarily get injured on iRacing. But I'd wonder if they're going to keep their cars in check or they're just going to go as hard as they can all these laps.
And I'm glad you brought that up, talking about going harder. There was a race earlier in the year at Road Atlanta, and it was just for a stage win, and Gabriel Ellison and Rhett Tucker were neck and neck coming down to the line, coming around that final corner, and they ended up touching, and they both wrecked on a stage win, and it ended up changing the entire outcome of that race, you know. And it's like you said, we're going to be saying it all night as to, are you going to take it easy or are you going to go out there and get it? Because if you don't go out there and get it and the other guys are going out there and getting it, you're going to end up losing that championship.
That certainly shows the drive of these drivers. I mean, the drive to win. So if that's what they do for a stage win, even though the championship 4 are not being counted with stage points, I certainly wonder what they're going to do for this championship tonight.
And they are rolling off, and you see these two right here, Rhett Tucker and Gabriel Ellison. They have been going at each other all season. And Clinton Castleberry, he is the dark horse in this whole thing. He has been very consistent and quiet the entire season. And you know, I would call him the Matt Kenseth of this season right now, because when Matt Kenseth won in 2004, he was just consistent week in and week out, and that is what Clinton Castleberry has done to get where he is tonight.
That's a very interesting analogy, but I would assume that's going to end up a little different from Kenseth's one win, given the fact that all 4 of these drivers are already starting up front. They most likely have the best cars, the best setups, so I'm thinking that if he's going to get it done, he's going to have to take that victory.
Yeah, and I believe, so last week, Clinton Castleberry, he won at Darlington, so once he won, that automatically got him in there, and that is just, he had to be so excited for that moment. Unfortunately, we missed last week's race, so I had to go back and look at the statistics as to who won that race, and it was Clinton Castleberry. And the green flag is out here at Atlanta, 125 laps.
And I could already see a little bit of wiggling as the 27 machine is already taking the lead. I believe that's Gabriel Ellison.
Yeah, that was Rhett Tucker that got really wiggly.
That already shows a lot of spread with these 10 drivers, but the championship 4 seem to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 already.
And you can see the different lines these guys are running. Just in front of Rhett Tucker, Dylan Falovich running that low to midline, getting that good run off of turn 4. Looks like he's catching Clinton Castleberry just a little, and you see Rhett Tucker coming in the picture with a lot of steam going through 1 and 2.
Seems that even though their starts weren't as great as the leader already, they've been making up some time, and who knows, they may be there at the end of the stage. And there's a wiggle. Wow.
Torrey Thompson able to save it.
Was that contact, or did he just get loose off too?
It looked like he just got loose. Yeah, my statistics show me that It looks like he just got loose. It looks like nobody hit him. But actually, I can go back and see. I do want to see what possibly happened there.
I'd say we need a replay on that one.
Go to the inside of the 11. This is on the front stretch. My replay went way back.
Looks like he's all clear for now, however.
Dives down in there, gets real low to that inside lane. Comes out off, oh, right there, gets a little loose. And just...
Yep, he got loose. The air moved him right there. Luckily for him, he saved his car, and he still got a chance at it at the end of the day.
So back up front, Gabriel Ellison has a pretty decent lead, about a 1.1 second lead over second place at Castleberry.
How long are these stages? Because I would say that's a pretty good lead for maybe 20 laps at most, but I don't know if that's going to last the whole stage, given these guys are very aggressive and coming up very fast on one another.
I believe they're only about 30 laps here tonight in Atlanta.
So it'll be like 30-30, then 60, since
Correct.
It's 25.
Correct. 65 for the last.
So that may serve Ellison well, given the fact he has about a 3 to 4 second lead as of now.
And Ellison, he tends to be very aggressive on these starts, and you'll see these guys end up reeling him in, especially Rhett Tucker. They really just get in each other's heads week in and week out.
What I've learned from doing some sim racing and iRacing is that tire management is very important. If you're going to get a launch like that, you got to make sure you conserve and don't get it all in your head that you're going to win immediately. Tire wear, especially at a track like Atlanta, is very crucial, and I'm wondering what's going through the minds of these drivers behind him. They may be able to reel him in faster, given the fact that he might have more tire wear.
Yeah, and you can already see the time that is being put between the first four and fifth place. Let me pull up. Oh, wrong. Oh, there we go. Well, I was looking. Oh yeah. So right now,
that's about an entire camera's distance right there from the 48.
3.3 seconds back from fifth to fourth place.
That is a major amount of time from one another.
That just shows you the competitiveness of these front four. They're really out there to get it. And Clinton
very much. That is
really
very obvious at the moment. At the moment, they do seem to be a little bit fanned out compared to the original start where they were all on each other, but it seems that they're just waiting for that 27 machine to come back.
And I feel like they are taking the cautious approach that we spoke about earlier.
I would say that's the best choice for them right now. They didn't get the best of starts, so why just destroy your car going after someone? So, as much as I would like to say it's only the first stage, and I know that these are very competitive drivers, it is only the first stage, and they are not being scored for any stage points. So they should just wait it out, I would say.
Definitely. And this could also play as a, see how your tires are doing after the stage when you go down pit road after the stage is over, and see, what kind of wear that you threw on the tires, as well as how much gas you really could save and how far it was able to take you.
It does seem for the number 48, who was originally running that low line like someone like Kevin Harvick would, he is far higher like the other three in this frame. I mean, the other two, rather. So I wonder if he's already noticed that there's some tire wear going on in that bottom lane. That's why they're all running up high.
Yeah, because right now, let me look at lap times. Falovich was faster than that 99 by 0.142 last time by.
And you can see he's working the outside compared to drivers in front of him, even compared to the originators of that outside line, which were not him. He started all the way on the low side, so now he's trying to work something different, see if he can get some positions coming to the next stage.
And that's going to be crucial coming down pit road and seeing if you can't beat these guys out.
That will be very crucial, but that depends on whether or not they go in or out. I would say that it would be almost obvious to go, considering that Atlanta's very hard on tires, but maybe one of them doesn't go if there were to be like a late race caution with a few to go. Maybe they just stay out and let the others get shuffled down in the bottom 6 or so.
It would be a difficult choice if it was for me, just because these guys, I don't even know the last time we had a caution that was caused by a wreck in one of these races. So these guys know how each other races so well, and they know that a caution is almost never going to happen, especially at a track like Atlanta for them.
With that being the case, then I would certainly pit each stage, or whenever the leaders go. Whoever is in the lead most likely dictates what they do. And if not, it's going to be a very interesting strategy to see who does what and who doesn't, and if they can all make it back to start-finish line at the end of that 125th lap.
And Falovich, for 4 consecutive laps, has been in the green over Rhett Tucker.
And it shows he's right there on that bumper.
And you can see Clinton Castleberry really drove away from these guys as well.
Think he's going a little harder, or just seeing if he's a little faster? Is he by any chance faster than the leader at this moment?
Well, you know, I believe Clinton is probably testing to see, you know, how far away he can let the leader get until he can't catch back up to him.
That is very possible, to see whether or not he would get some sort of draft, but I'm not sure. He is very much pulling away from third and fourth. It could just be the fact that he's that much faster, but I wouldn't buy that given the fact of how close they were in qualifying.
Now Falovich going to the outside of Rhett Tucker for third place. This is a battle for third, coming across the line.
And it looks like Falovich may have had it right there. I could not tell. It was very close.
So close.
I think it was within like 5 thousandths right there, but he's working that outside and seems to be doing wonders right now, especially given the fact that he's gone way faster lap times. And there he is. He is passed for third.
And he's finally gets around Tucker. Tucker falls back to fourth. I want to go look at Clinton Castleberry's lap times compared to Falovich. Falovich was faster that last time, but Castleberry has been faster for the previous 4 laps.
Well, it looks like that slingshot may have helped Falovich right there, because Castleberry is out in his own world, it seems, like about a camera's length if we're excluding the backstretch shot.
And now looking at the lap times for Ellison and Castleberry, first and second, Castleberry has been gaining about 0.15 to about 0.066 each lap.
That is major time, especially since 30 laps on the stage. I would say that that's reason to be a little bit more cautious for the 27 machine right now.
Yeah, but look at these guys. These guys are just, it's so impressive. I've not seen a race from these guys where they've spread, the first 4 guys have spread themselves out from the rest of the field so much, because right now they have about a 4-second lead over 5th place.
It certainly shows that they all did their homework on this race, because they were far, far out, especially from 1st to 5th.
Yeah, 1st to 5th is about 6.5 seconds back.
That is a major gap. So that would mean that the top 4 are in about a 2-second spread if it's 6 seconds and then 4 seconds, right?
Yep, you're correct. Clinton Castleberry and Ellison's time between each other is about 1.1, so that's the smallest differential.
And I would assume it's getting a little smaller given the fact that Ellison has very much jumped the start and possibly used up his tires.
Yeah, right now the Castleberry's not gaining as much, down to a 0.010 for his time frame that he's catching Ellison, but every little bit's going to count.
I would say that's very much the case given the fact that stages, but from the 3rd stage, which is longer, it's going to count far more given the fact that you have more time, and I'm wondering if that's going to change up the way these guys are going. I know Ellison got the best start out of these guys, but I don't know if he's going to be a little more cautious if he were to be in the same position.
Well, and that's going to be, you know, too, these guys are going to be, if it was me, I would be really nervous coming down to a green flag pit stop when the rest of the race I've just been making pit stops under yellow.
That is certainly the case. If there were to be only yellow pit stops and a need for a green flag pit stop, that's going to change the outcome of this race and this championship in its entirety, whether or not these drivers can execute their pit stops as well as they would like to.
Because then I keep thinking of all these things that I've done in iRacing to possibly pull through a win. you know, they could be coming down pit road on that final stint and start thinking, okay, can I take 2 tires, less fuel to get that faster pit stop, to get back out there ASAP and possibly be so far ahead that the other guys can't catch you. But then you look at, if they get 4 fresh ones, how fast are they going to track you down?
You never know if they're going to push the envelope on pit road as well. If any of these guys gotten pit penalties at one point or another, because that could become the detrimental factor in this race.
I have not seen anybody get any black flags the entire season. So it would be, but when your nerves are the way they would be here tonight, it really could happen.
It is very possible given the stakes.
And right now, Clinton Castleberry is reeling him in. He's been green for 4 laps, while Castleberry has only Ellison's only beat Castleberry once. Well, now twice. He just ran a faster lap than he did.
Seems like it's going to take a little bit of work for that 27 machine to get some good laps in, but I'm thinking that he's going to have to change his lineup, because the middle line, while it does work for some, we saw how that did not work out for the bottom 2 of this Championship 4 as of now.
And we're going to go take a look at the biggest mover of the race so far tonight. It is Stephen Gregory in that number 61. He's gained 3 spots since the drop of the green flag. So great driving by that number 61.
Where is he in relation to the next car that he could pass?
Looks like the next car that he could pass is about 2.3 seconds ahead of him, and that is Dustin Scruggs.
It's a pretty major, interval, but you never know. With all these laps, he could make it work and get another position. That's 4.
And right now we're at lap 25 of 125. We have 100 laps to go, but 5 laps until we reach that first end of the stage.
I have to be honest, I was not expecting such clean racing out of these guys. I mean, iRacing is known for having, in particular instances, very aggressive racing, so it is interesting to see how these guys are fanning out and playing it safe, at least for now.
Well, I have to say that these guys, this group of guys here at the North American Sim Association, week in and week out, have fantastic races, fantastic fields, and if you are looking for a league that is just clean all around every week, you need to check these guys out. You can go to their website, sign up. I'm sure after here in the next week or 2 after this season is over, they'll probably come out and, advertise their next season. But if you want great racing week in and week out, this league right here is the place to be.
That certainly seems to be the case, given the way these first, I believe now, 27 laps have gone.
Correct.
It's been very clean and very, at the same time, aggressive racing, even with the spread.
And right now, Gabriel Ellison has now been able to extend his lead to almost 2 seconds over Clinton Castleberry.
I'm starting to think that Castleberry actually might have pushed the envelope the way that he got away from 3rd and 4th, and he might have worn out his tires rather than it being Ellison.
And now, when you look at Castleberry and that 48 of Falovich is now catching Castleberry.
It's very likely that something happened with that tire. He could have just outran it the way that he just moved away from Falovich when he was passing, and I mean, it is only the stage, so he's probably testing the envelope.
Right.
That could have been a pass, and that could have been a minor advantage going into what I would assume to be the first yellow flag pit stop session.
And so far, the last 8 laps, Falovich has been faster than Castleberry, so I would not be surprised. I don't know if there's enough time for Falovich to catch Castleberry and pass him for 2nd place, but we will see if that can happen, because about every lap he's been gaining about a 1/10 of a second a lap.
Now, I'd wonder if you'd want to do that. Like, I would think the pit stops would change the order, but in certain instances, say at a plate race for iRacing, you want to, especially the way it was before without the side drafting, stay on the inside. So I'm wondering if Falovich is going to let the 21 move as fast as he can and just wait on the stage to resume on stage number 2, or he's just going to go as hard as he can and hope for a best pit stop and get in the lead.
And the white flag is out for the stage. Stage number 1 is about to be in the books, and your winner for stage 1 is going to be Gabriel Ellison.
Dominating performance, leading all 30 laps.
Caution flag is out.
And for the first time since the drop of the green flag, we're going to see a bunched up. Wow, is that a lap car? I see. Yeah, that is. Is that the? Yeah, that's the 88.
Yeah.
Guess that spin did not help. He lost the pack. That or he had another incident, but he's still on the lead lap. So this is an opportunity to regroup and rebound.
Yeah, and a lot of I'm gonna see if we can't bring up Gabriel Ellison into the booth. I'll make sure he gets to his pit stop first. I don't like to interrupt the drivers when they try to think to get to their pit stalls. I wait till they're in, so that way we can talk to them and see, where they're at in their head right now.
Makes sense. We would certainly love to have an interview with at least one of these drivers, and given the fact that Ellison has dominated so far, it would be very interesting to hear his thoughts on this championship race so far.
And it's amazing how fast these laps do go by.
Yeah, that was very quick, especially for an intermediate track. I mean, I know that it is smaller than, say, Super Speedway, but they were going very fast through that, especially that top 4. They just moved away from the rest of the race.
All right, these guys are coming down pit road. Ellison's going to lead them down pit road.
And they may think of this as a practice session for that final pit stop that's going to be the most important. But this is important as well. You don't want to get shuffled up in the back of the pack and possibly wreck your car.
And they're all keeping their distance. I'm surprised that Castleberry didn't try to all perfect pit stops. They all slid right in there.
That was a very good formation. Wow, that was really nice.
I don't think I've ever seen it happen like that. That was great.
Let's see who's going to get out first.
Down
It looked like 48 had a faster pit stop, but not a good exit, and it's going to be very close.
Castleberry was close on that one.
Yeah, Falovich got the worst of it right there.
Let me bring in, there we go. I'm going to bring in Ellison here real quick before they go back green. Hey Ellison, it's Tim and David up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
Man, you led all 30 laps. You got a great start there at the beginning of that one. How do you continue to carry that energy through the rest of the race?
I just do my best to keep it clean, save tires. Tires are absolutely brutal here. I'm sure you know that, but this track kills tires and the track temp's super hot, so really just got to save tires and try to protect this clean air, and I think we can get it done here.
Now I was gonna ask you a question about the stages. So how are you gonna approach this next stage in comparison to the third stage? Are you gonna go a little more cautious, considering the fact that you led every single lap of the first stage? I would think that's not really that big of an issue. But are you gonna approach this one more caution than the first? And are you just gonna wait for the third stage, or are you just gonna go as hard as you can?
I'd really like to keep the track position, so definitely not going easy. That's I don't know how hard I'm gonna go if someone comes to pass me, but we'll see, I guess.
All right, awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the race, Ellison. Hopefully we'll be talking to you after the race.
All right, thank you all.
And that was Gabriel Ellison, your stage 1 winner, as well as your current leader, as he leads them down the backstretch.
Yes, very interesting thoughts. He seems to be putting it all on the line, regardless of which lap it is, whether it's lap 1 or lap 125. He certainly has the spirit to keep it on all the way.
I'm really intrigued as to how this restart's going to go compared to the start of the race, now that these guys are probably ready to go this time around.
Yep, this is going to be at least a little different for the first time by, as the pace car is going to drop off. We're going to see some green flag racing for the start, stage number 2. There's a little bit of a wiggle once again.
Tucker goes straight to second place, gets around Castleberry,
And Castleberry is in third, maybe going to be overtaken by Falovich. Looks like he's a little bit slower there.
Going to the inside.
And let's see if he can make it as easy as he did in his last pass. And it appears he is clear already, and he has the position back in number 3.
And now the big battle that's going to happen between Rhett Tucker, who has not shown his speed yet tonight. He kind of took it easy in that first stage, and this is going to be where we're going to see what Tucker can give Gabriel Ellison here in this second stage.
For the first time all night, Ellison has very close competition, and it's going to be very interesting how he manages his first encounter, a very close one at the very least, in this race.
Yeah, and Tucker is very critical of himself. So when every time he's had an interview and didn't finish him first, he was very critical on himself as to what he did wrong in that race. So I know that he's going to do his best not to make any mistakes here tonight.
Right now, I'd say that the mentality for a lot of these drivers is just don't make a mistake and keep it clean until that final stage, especially for that Championship 4.
Yeah, and I'm interested. I wish I could have interviewed Tucker. He tends to not be in Discord during the race, so it's always got to catch him after the race.
We're going to have to get some post-race thoughts from these drivers because it's going to be very interesting to see where their heads are at after this one. Coming out back straight once again there. Already spread out once more, but I do see some of those cars past 5th place.
Yeah, so far they're staying closer together this time than they did last race.
Especially when it comes to that 1st place battle, Ellison's got right there, Tucker's right there, and he's going to go to the inside and see if that works. See if anything sticks at this point, you know, you might as well try.
Yeah, with this, there's not much to lose right now. As long as you don't wreck the car, you can do a lot of different things to test them out.
Especially with these cars, they're, I would say, far harder to lose when it comes to just losing grip or anything compared to the Cup cars. So there's a lot you can do with these 30 laps of this stage. Wondering what's going through the mind of Tucker is he going to try to get a pass done? Is he just going to try to see if he can just keep up without wearing the tires down?
Tucker, I think, is going to try to make it happen when he can.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I mean, he is close, but it looks like very slightly the gap has increased.
Yeah, let me take a look at the actual lap times here.
I would say, judging by the way it looks, he's only losing about a few thousandths per lap, but it looks a little bit bigger from where we first saw this battle.
Yeah, it looks like the past 2 laps, Ellison has been quicker by about .013 and .059. But it looks like Tucker may have been a little faster this time. Let's take a look across the line.
It's going to be very close.
Yeah, so that time Tucker was faster with a .023.
Well, I'd say that the aerodynamics of just keeping behind a car are going to help him. He's just going to have a way to not lose a lot of position at the same time as not losing a lot of tires, so long as he just stays behind Ellison for now.
And right now, the rest of the field, we actually have a 3-way battle for the biggest movers of the race. Dustin Scruggs, since the drop of the green flag, has gained 2 positions. Brandon Bullock has gained 2 positions, and Stephen Gregory has gained 2 positions. So all those guys are trying to make their way to the front of the pack. Scruggs is actually the highest of them in 5th place, right there just behind our 3rd and 4th place championship contenders right now.
Seems we have a lot of movers going on so far, so let's see who's going to be the first to spoil the party, if any.
And see, I think, you know, that first stint is really where you kind of feel your car out, see what it's going to do, and then once you go down pit road, you're able to make those adjustments in your head and say, okay, this is what I learned from the first stage. Let's do this on the second stage.
That seems to be the case for a few of these drivers, especially those who were originally very far back, and they're now with the top 4. I mean, especially with this number 11.
Yeah, because right now, from 5th to 1st is only a 3-second gap, which is much tighter than the gap we had in the previous one.
That is far tighter in comparison. So now there doesn't seem to be a lot of passing going on for 3rd position, but they are very close, so you never know what's going to happen at the end of the stage.
Yeah, anything can really happen, especially if you pushed your car too hard. And I don't think Castleberry and Falovich this time by are really pressing that hard. It seems like they're a little bit more relaxed compared to this first stage. I really think these two are going to wait until that beginning of stage 3 and turn on the heat.
I say that does seem to be the case. Falovich did make a pass originally for 3rd position in the first stage, so he does know how to make a pass in these cars. And Castleberry did stay in 2nd for the majority of that run. In fact, he did finish 2nd in the first stage. So they both know a lot about their cars, especially compared to how they started the night. So I'm wondering if that's just their motive right now. Stay in the back, and they know what to do, so they're going to wait till the end.
Yeah, because right now, really, gaining in any positions or battling for the lead only heightens your chances of something going wrong, really.
That seems to be the idea a lot of these drivers are holding, given the fact that it's all single fire for these top 4 drivers. Well, actually, no. It seems to be it's going to be another pass. Falovich is very slightly ahead. Not clear as far as I can tell.
Yeah, now Castleberry and Falovich are going at it here, going into turn 1.
Very close. I'm wondering how it will be like from the onboard perspective if we can get a shot of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's go right on with Castleberry. There we go. You can hear him let up just a little bit heading into the corner, getting slowly back into it, and just full on throttles it right there in the center of the corner.
Very noticeable the way that he knows the revs that he's going to have to go through. He goes down to about 7,000 through that turn, and that seems to be his minimum. Let's see if he does it here. Yeah, that seems to be the case. He's running about 6,800 or so at the minimum, and he's just going to get right back on it.
Yeah, that's something I think that the people at home sometimes forget. These guys don't know how fast they're going.
It's all... They're basing it on the revs per minute, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the things about iRacing that makes it, or that's the reason a lot of people consider it one of the most accurate simulators. You base it off things that aren't like a mile per hour marking, like a Mario Kart or something. You base it off the gauges in the car, and especially with this Xfinity car, which has a lot of physical gauges in comparison to the Cup car. You can gauge it a little more easily, I would say.
Right, yeah, and that's, you know, because the Cup cars now have that digital dashboard and stuff, but this really is something that we don't see on the broadcast. A lot of these guys have spotters, and they'll tell them, you know, when they're coming into pit road, bring it down to 2,500 RPMs in 3rd gear or whatever gear they prefer to use coming into pit road, and then they stick to that mark because they know that that's going to be their mile per hour in those RPM range.
Yep, and you can certainly see that the changing of lines is not just a thing when it comes to just moving up or moving down. They have to change the way that they drive the turns. It seems to be that Castleberry's letting a little more off into more the 6,700 RPM range in comparison to when we were first watching him.
Yeah, Falovich has been able to pull away just a little bit. Let me pull up the lap times here for these two. So, it's going to make me go to Falovich's onboard to see. So, yeah, the last 3 laps, Falovich was faster, but that previous lap, Castleberry was faster by 0.113.
Very interesting to see that Falovich actually, he puts his RPMs a little lower. He goes down into the 75 or 6,500 range, rather. And in comparison to what's going on with Castleberry, it's a little lower, but he's still reaping the rewards of it.
And that really also goes to show that he's taking care of those tires a little bit more than Castleberry is.
Now, I want to ask something about, is this a fixed setup? Is it just a default Atlanta setup? Are these guys building their own setups, or at least building them with their team?
So it is a fixed setup.
That does change the way that these guys drive it, because you can't just like make an overpowered setup and just absolutely destroy the field. It's all about driving ability at this point. And we can see that these top four certainly know these setups better than anyone.
And that is what I have always loved about these fixed sets. Oh, Falovich gets a little loose there.
Seems he recovered pretty well, but what was that? He just let off the gas. He knew something was happening. It didn't look like much on the onboard. He kept that steering wheel straight, but he knew something was going on, and it's good on him for correcting it very quickly and not losing any spots.
Yeah, it came very close to that wall.
Yeah, that was a pretty close encounter, but you know, when you're in the Championship 4, you got to make the moves you have to make. So just making it a little slower for now is not going to hurt in the end.
You know, and that's something I always think of. When I think of championship runs, I think of Kurt Busch's run when they were at Homestead, and he was telling the team that there was a vibration, and he comes down pit road, and the tire flies off, and he's within inches of the end of the pit wall, and still was able to come down pit road, get those tires changed, went back out there and won the championship. It could have been over for him.
Kurt Busch's 2004 run for the championship had a lot of interesting events. I mean, I remember watching a video on that, and he had a lot of incidents, including that one. That is one of the most memorable. That is certainly one of the most interesting moves made in that chase for the Cup. And I would say that had to be one of the ones that won him the championship. Of course, he had many other incidents. He had contact in certain races where if he didn't finish those races, he would have been done. And one of them speaks out to me. He's like, one of the races he had to go into the grass, like through the grass, to finish the race, because if not, he would have been wrecked. And that shows that, unlike now, you can't like go through the grass in a real car. So it's like there's a difference in strategy, and that the way the car is plays into how the drivers react to it. You can't make that move now, but in iRacing, you have to make different moves considering the way that it interprets the grass to the car.
And that's, you know, hitting the grass in iRacing, I've always used the analogy, it's like hitting ice. Like you hit that grass and you're on for a ride.
Even if it doesn't destroy the car, you may end up doing it yourself given the fact that it's very loose.
Yes, yes.
But I would say that these guys are not going to have to use the grass given the fact that they're all spread out. So if there is an incident, I'd hope that they don't have to use it, given all the room.
Yeah, it looks like, did Clinton Castleberry get the wall a little bit? Let me look at this. Yes, he did. You can see on the corner panel there, he did tap the wall.
Wow, he did. That might be the first damage for all of the top four, but he's still keeping on with Falovich. But wonder how bad that would have been if he didn't do what he did, because it looks like a minor lick off a turn. I would say turn 2.
Yeah, it was off of turn 2. I had seen some sparks, and that's what made me go investigate the damage.
That certainly could have been way worse if he touched it, say, at an angle. He could have just spun out entirely, overcorrecting, or hit the wall far harder. But he's still with Falovich right now.
Yeah, luckily they're coming to lap 59 here. The white flag is out for this stage. And back up front, Gabriel Ellison yet again ahead of the field. Brett Tucker in second, Dylan Falovich in third, and Clinton Castleberry in fourth.
Ellison seems to know a lot about what he's doing right now, because he's going to drive it again to another stage
and these
win.
two side by side for third place.
He'll be very close to the line. Let's hope they don't wreck.
Yeah. The championship 4. This is a preview of what we're going to see the rest of the night. Side by side, Falovich is
to the
going
line.
to
It's going to be Falovich.
Wow.
Wow. That was good. These guys are certainly warming it up, so to speak.
Yeah, getting us prepared for this final 65 lap stint coming up here for the third and final stage. And your stage 2 winner, Gabriel Ellison, so far has not had any competition for the lead.
Ellison certainly knows what he's doing right now, because he has been on a roll. I believe he's led every single lap. He came out in first in that pit stop. He has the advantage right now. He has the best pit stall. He has the best spots each restart. So going to take a lot to break that. It's going to take a good pit stop or a mistake on his end.
And we all know here, watching him week in and week out, Ellison, mistakes are minimal.
Seems to be the case, especially since he's just been on a roll. I mean, very close to losing that lead, but he just stretched it out, even with the tires most likely fading.
We're going to see, after they hit pit road, I think I'm going to bring in Dylan Falovich in that number 48 car.
And they're all going to hit pit road once again, and it's going to be another race. Let's see who is the big winner. Most likely, it's going to be one of those top two right now, as they have been best off pit road as of late.
Now,
it's only one pit stop, of course, but you know, I don't think a lot of momentum can be broken, especially in the second pit stop. I think that if there's another pit stop, it's going to break the momentum far worse.
And on this pit stop, Tucker was way closer to Ellison than last pit stop when Clinton Castleberry wasn't up on Ellison's bumper. So we're going to see how this... Oh, Ellison clearly gets off faster. Tucker must have had issues in the pits that time. And
seems to be the case. A little bit of a roll-off, but Falovich, wow, he's going to be pretty far off. Wow, is this... He may have had an issue, like, this could be optional. He just could be not wasting his time, but spending his time getting everything done for the rest of the race, just topping off. But that was a very interesting strategy.
Oh, now I do see damage to the right side of this car that I didn't see before.
That is possibly what we were looking at when we went on board with him, because that's when that damage came out.
Yeah, there is.
It could have been
significant damage there just in front of the tire well, and that could really affect the downforce of your car.
He did keep it going at first, so I would assume it's not too new, but wondering how much that's going to affect him and if he just took some optional to make sure that he stays on the lead lap and has the best chance.
Well, we're going to pull him in here and see if we can't talk to him here before they go back green. Hey, Dylan, it's Tim and David up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, so you've been able to make some passes here during these green flag runs. What happened there in the pits?
I don't know what happened on last couple laps, but it's like my rear tires just were gone, and I scuffed the wall a little bit, had a little bit of damage. Said may as well just get it all fixed.
Okay.
Been able to make some moves, so hopefully I can do that. Get right back up there.
Well, this is going to be your biggest challenge yet, but it may play in your favor because the guys up front really haven't had to deal with traffic. So you having to deal with traffic could really, set you up for the end of the race and give you more of a challenge to get out there and win it.
Yeah, hopefully it puts on a little good show.
We've seen a little bit of the moves you've been making. You have been able to pass people under green, so you may be able to pass these guys and just get up before the next pit cycle.
That my goal is to be back and forth by the time I'm making my stops. Ideally, it would be third or second, but my goal is to get back to fourth and still be gaining time by the time I get.
Judging by what we've been seeing, that is very obtainable and seems to be the case.
Let's hope you're right.
Well, thanks, Dylan. Good luck in this final stage, and hopefully we'll be talking to you after the race as a champion.
I would love for that to happen. Let's see if we can do it. Hopefully y'all enjoy.
Thanks, Dylan. And that was Dylan Falovich, driver of that number 48, one of the championship 4. Right now, David has a very big task ahead of him.
Yeah, it's going to be the longest stretch I've done so far, so I am wondering what's going to go on, because I was hearing what Falovich said. He's just going to plan to get up there and just wait on the next pit cycle, and that's going to be very important. He's had, as of now, for the top 4, the worst pit stop times. He was 4th, and now he's back in 9th, it seems. So I'm wondering what he's going to do to change that up and possibly grab that lead on that pit cycle.
Yeah, that pit stop was 37.0 or 37.40 second pit stop. That's a very long pit stop, relatively speaking.
That might be one of the longest ones we've had here, if not the longest. So let's see what his strategy is while moving through this pack right now.
But back up front, Dustin Scruggs now up to 3rd place. He's the one that's not in the championship 4, but he's up here to say, hey, don't forget about me.
And he's certainly doing a good job of that as the green flag flies for the final stage and the final stint of this season.
Drugs gets around Castleberry. Now, they are teammates along with Brett Tucker. So right now, they're holding second, third, and fourth.
With that being the case, we wonder what moves they're going to make to help Castleberry, or whether or not they even do.
And right now, these two up front, Brett Tucker and Gabriel Ellison, neck and neck, coming to the line, and Tucker is just really gaining on him a lot.
For the time that Ellison has had anyone behind him, it's been Tucker, and now he looks to be far faster. Let's see if he can make that pass and be the first person to lead all night that isn't Ellison.
And Tucker pretty much pushing him down the backstretch.
It'll be a game of who lets off first, and it looks like Ellison still has it under control, but let's see how far the Tucker will go just to get that lead so far.
Really impressive start from these guys. And what
In the top
Ellison
two.
he doesn't want Tucker to use up his tires.
That is certainly the case right there, because they've gotten the best start, so they're playing the same game, so to speak, but you know, the way they interpret it is going to be far different. You know, it's two different drivers, two different ideas, so whatever they decide is good. It's going to be the race for the championship, whatever they decide, whether they don't.
And we're on lap 69 of 125. We're over halfway through this one.
That is a very close move. He went to the inside a little bit there, but he's just going to stay single file right there. And how's Falovich doing? How many people has he passed so far?
Falovich so far. Oh, wow. Falovich is up to 5th place.
That is where he wants to be, or very close to it, as he seems to be reeling in Castleberry, as he has done multiple times so far this race.
And he said that he wanted to be 3rd or 4th, but ideally in 2nd. He's very... I have full confidence that he will at least make it to 4th, if not 3rd, by the end of when pit stops have to happen.
He's certainly showing his speed right now, and it was very obvious when he was running up in that top 4 for the first 2 stages, but it didn't seem like he was using all of it just to make sure that he would keep his car clean. But now he's just made a lot of moves, so see what he can do, get up into 4th, and he's just going to cruise it for the rest of the cycle and get down for the pit stop and get the best ending he can.
It'll be interesting to see. Looks like we've got a patch going on a little farther back. Snead going to the inside of Stephen.
He's going to make a 2 for 1 this time.
Yeah.
Looks like he could. He's going to get 1 this time by, it looks. No, is he going to get any? It doesn't look like he is, but he's very close, and judging by the way it's been running, he may be able to make at least 1. But it's looking like he's losing momentum, and he's going to have to fall right back.
That's the kind of cat and mouse game that you play here at Atlanta.
Yeah, it definitely is the game that these drivers up front want to play. Any position is position, so I would assume they're all running for who's going to get 5th in points on back, so it's still a point race. Any point matters.
Oh, for sure.
And it still looks like Snead's going as hard as he can, but he's not making anything work thus far. He still has some time, so we'll see what he can do.
And that's something, you know, I don't know that a lot of people know. Atlanta over the years has changed so much. Because you look back at the early 2000s when Carl Edwards was, you know, always running up front with Jimmy Johnson for the wins, and Carl Edwards would run right up against that wall and get huge runs off that wall. That was back when they had first repaved the track.
It's been about 24 years since the last repave in 1997. That was the reconfiguration of this track. Looks like a little wobble right there, but you can see that over time this track has aged and it's changed in significant amounts.
And it almost kind of reminds me of the surface of Rockingham in a way at its current stage.
It's a very interesting comparison. I would say that it does echo some similarities in the way is not as slick as newer pavements. Say Daytona has a different pavement from the original scan on iRacing. That's just an example in the sim racing world.
That's true.
So I can understand what you're saying at that point. It's very loose in comparison to just a new paved track, and that changes a lot of the racing dynamic for both drivers and the people working on those teams. You know, a slick Atlanta, like a setup from 1997, would not work on a car like the exact same car today, just a different track.
You know, that would be, I never thought of that until now. Like, what would happen if they tried to throw a setup from the 90s on a car today?
That would actually be a very interesting possibility. I think that if Atlanta ever were to get a repave and someone on iRacing had their old setup from like this state of Atlanta, then it would be a very different, maybe it would just be too tight, or like, no, not too tight, too loose, because it's a very loose track, and you may just end up in the wall with that setup in a new pavement.
And it really depends too on what car, like these, I always say that these Xfinity cars kind of drive almost like a boat. Like, they're just very boaty, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand what you're coming at from that perspective. I've driven these cars, not a lot, but I have gotten some time in them. They are very, very, I don't know how to describe it besides that. But I would say that works as an analogy.
Yeah, and oh, looks like something happened with Torrey Thompson.
Oh, that's not going to be good. First, that run in the first 2 or 3 laps, and
Go back and replay. Torrey Thompson's coming down. Looks like he's coming down to pit road. Oh no, looks like
he may have ran out of fuel.
May have just parked it actually.
That's unfortunate. That's not a great end of the night.
But my statistics told me that something happened, so I had to go check it out.
That's certainly an interesting ending to his night, or at the very least, end of a shot at the win.
And I want to take a look at something I didn't look at, and I should have. So, for 5th place, between 5th, 6th, 7th, so a couple of the guys that are out of the top 4 didn't show up tonight. So that looks like it's going to move Clinton Castleberry up to finishing 5th in points over Max Steck. And Brandon Bullock may be able to jump to 6th or 7th in points just for showing up tonight.
That is certainly a change. I was going to ask why there's just about 10 drivers in here. I would assume that there's a lot more, considering the fact that there's a lot more activity going on this server, which we are broadcasting from. So, I just, people didn't think they could win the championship today, just left. But, you know, you got to give props to drivers who show up every single race just for every single point.
Yeah, and that's, you know, it looks like the full point standing, about 35 drivers, all in all, made starts here in this series, the Snead Competition Design Series. Want to give a huge shout out to Snead Competition Design. Make sure you check them out on Facebook. I did totally forget that I have their ad that I have not run because we've been so fixed on this racing here tonight. So I'll make sure that before the end of the night, you guys do get to check them out. And also want to also do a plug for the Thursday night showdown or throwdown. I don't know if it's showdown or throwdown.
I believe it's throwdown.
Throwdown, so I was right. So basically they're going to race the ARCA cars in 125 miles, and then they're going to race the trucks in 125 miles.
Yes, it's a very interesting concept. That's actually how I got into this situation of broadcasting here, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more work with them because I'm very interested in trying to get my way into sim racing broadcasting at some point, and I can see this as a gateway of sorts. So be sure to check them out. I believe that one of the owners of the server, Clinton Snead, is he? Yeah, he is part of Thursday Night Throwdown. He is in the NASRA server, which we are in right now. So he's also driving. Oh, and there's a little bit of a rub on the wall.
What is that? Was that Justin Scruggs, I believe?
That was Scruggs, and that may help Falovich.
Oh yeah, he got the wall. Definitely.
Hard. That was one of the harder impacts.
Because even on the right front, you can see that damage.
That is not good, but he's been having a great race thus far. He's the highest of the non-championship drivers, and that's going to be very unfortunate for him, but that's going to help Falvich out in getting to his 4th place minimum goal.
Actually, that might get him. Oh, yeah, because Clinton Castleberry is now up to 3rd. Didn't realize that he had passed Dustin Scruggs.
I guess Castleberry turned on the jet, seeing the fact that Falvich was on his way.
And right now, up front, Ellison only has a .26 lead over Tucker, who you can see right there in the back of your frame, a little wider shot of these two.
Even with the dominance he's had thus far, he should not be just cruising it through, because Tucker is still right there, even if he hasn't led any single laps. The only lap that really matters is the end of 125. That is the lap that truly counts more than any other.
And I would not be surprised if at the end of this we see 2 drivers side by side crossing that start-finish line.
That would be a very, very interesting one to both watch and just commentate for. I would hope to see that, because racing thus far, they're very close, but I do want to see a side-by-side win, or side-by-side championship win.
And right now, Tucker is reeling in Gabriel Ellison each lap, down to about .18.
It does seem, though, that even though he is definitely at least able to keep up, he is just going a little bit more on the cautionary side, given the fact that this is not the final run. They have to do a pit, I believe, about 60 or 70% way into this run. So either he stretches it and tries to get that victory off of just maybe lapping Ellison, or he just goes with Ellison and gets a better stop out. But that's going to be hard to beat. Ellison's been the best off these pit roads thus far, so I'm not sure if he's going to get it through either by just getting lucky with strategy or with the better pit stop.
And right now, we're on lap 88 of 125, so he's going to be pitting around lap 100 to 105.
That's going to only leave about 20 laps of racing left. That is going to be a very interesting stint. We're going to see who does what for either a race win or a championship. It's all on the line, so especially with that final stint being so short, we're going to see a lot of interesting racing, to say the least.
And that's something I'm going to be watching for, is who's going to make that first pit stop. Because then that's going to make the leaders go, okay, they went to the pits, I'm going to have to go too.
Whoever does that first stop in that top 4 in points, that's going to be the game changer. I mean, either they have a good stop or they have a bad one. They could get caught up like a half lap back and just not have a shot, short of a caution or something. But as of now, it's looking like either the leaders will decide or just someone behind them. They'll know most likely, but either way, it's going to be very interesting to see who does it first and just who takes either the fall or the victory off of that move.
Scruggs is your first driver down pit road.
And that's most likely both for damage and due to the fact that the pit window. So I'm wondering if he's just going to take some optional and run out of the pits.
For some reason, it told me he went off track. I want to see if he had a little problem.
They've gotten a penalty.
He missed pit road.
And that might be the end of his shot at being in that top 5. That is not good. That is about a 50-second penalty from my experience.
Yeah, and that is not an experience you want. And Rhett Tucker, I think now, has come down pit. Nope. Where's going on? Yeah, Rhett Tucker is down
and
pit
Tucker
road.
is there with Castleberry and Falovich.
So all 3 of those drivers wasting no time, and Gabriel Ellison's still out there.
It's going to be 3 versus 1, and let's see if Ellison, being the sole driver out there in that championship 4, is going to be the one who pulls it away, and that's going to be one certainly above the rest right there. Tucker is going to get it.
Tucker down and away. Gabriel Ellison, the lone leader out there right now, coming through to the back stretch.
He's now 1 lap ahead of second, but that doesn't mean much given the fact that he's going to have to pit soon. Now, do you think that the 1 lap difference or 2 lap difference, whether or not Ellison comes this time by, he most likely... Actually, he will not. Well, do you think that 2 lap difference will make too much of a change? between these cars?
For Tucker and Ellison, yes, because Tucker was so close to Ellison before that pit stop that Ellison can't lose any time. And right now, let me take a look. So right now, Ellison just ran a 33.88. Rhett Tucker just ran a 31.49. He's already 2 seconds faster.
That is major time, but luckily it doesn't look like, well, luckily for Ellison's case, he's not going to be lapped thus far, but there it is. Tucker's coming by to get his lap back, and it's going to have to be a good stop, or he may lose the lead for the rest of the race.
Yes. So now there's Tucker going through 1 and 2. Come back to Gabriel Ellison on his pit stop. He's making his way down very long pit road. Make sure he doesn't miss anything. Slides it in.
This may be the most important lap on track for Tucker, whether or not he can get that lead and just stretch it as far as he wants to, or can.
I wish I had a side-by-side screen that I could see both of them. Now Ellison down and away. Rhett Tucker coming through that front stretch through 1 and 2, and now Tucker
did it. That was
very
good for him. Wow, he has about I want to say
very big lead right now.
That could have been the championship right then and there. That was a great move for Tucker to have gone with the other 3.
He has about 7 seconds.
That's major. I do not think that Ellison, short of him just turning on the jets and becoming absolutely lightning quick, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
It's going to be difficult. He's going to have to get around Clinton Castleberry to even have that happen. And right now, Clinton Snead and Brendan Bullock both coming down pit road.
That was not the best decision when it comes to Ellison just staying out. I would have gone, well, from my experience, I would have gone that lap after Tucker gone. I do not know why he would have gone 2 laps after. Like, I understand that you want to stretch out the lead, but you're 2 seconds slower. That's not really going to help. I would go as soon as possible, but that's me.
Yeah, that's and Ellison now is probably just doesn't know how to feel. He's right now. Tucker has a 4-second lead over Clinton Castleberry. Then it's 7 seconds back to Gabriel Ellison, and then Nathan. What's happened to Falovich? Falovich did not. He's a lap. Yeah, he is a lap down.
That's interesting. You went with those guys. How come he's a lap down?
I wonder if he had a black flag.
Wait. Yeah, I believe he got that 50-second pit penalty, I believe.
Oh, that was Dustin Scruggs.
Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, so he might have gotten another one himself.
Yeah, he may have come into pit road too fast and we didn't see it.
That's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate for that championship run. He was certainly making some moves, but now it's all but unlikely.
And now Tucker just has to bring it home. That's it.
How many laps do we have left for him? Because it's going to be that bring it home mentality, but you know you want to keep it as fast as you can, given the fact that Castleberry is 4 seconds behind.
We have 27 laps to go.
A home stretch for this season. It's going to be Tucker just taking it away. I mean, after the dominance with Ellison, like, I did not expect Tucker to get it so far and away. I would have thought that they would all go at the same time. It's going to be, I would say, one of the bigger upsets in comparison to Ellison just winning.
Now, let me put this into perspective for you. Ellison has already gained 2 seconds back on that lead. He is now 6 seconds back from Rhett Tucker.
He certainly seems to be putting it on, putting those jets on, but I'm not sure if that's going to do it. It's 27 laps. He would have to make up about 0.3 of a second to 6 tenths per lap to get that chance at victory, let alone winning.
Yeah, this is where, you know, now I wish I could just hear the thoughts of Rhett Tucker. Is he taking it easy a little bit because he doesn't want to press the issue in case Gabriel Ellison catches him? Or does he turn the jets on and tries to keep that distance from those two, and that'll make Ellison just wear himself out?
The thing about Ellison's position is that he is behind Castleberry, and due to that, he has to pass not 1 but 2 people. He may be just trying hard to pass Castleberry, and that might wear him out before he even gets close to Tucker.
and good luck getting around Castleberry because that's a teammate of Rhett Tucker.
That is going to cause some interesting stakes if Castleberry can be caught up to by Ellison.
Which right now he's down. Ellison's cut the lead down to almost 5 seconds.
Let's take a look at the onboard for Ellison right now as he's trying to pass not one but two people to win this championship.
Oops, wrong camera. There we go.
Going to be interesting to see for the first time how he takes these turns. And he keeps it above 7,000 and just lets off a little bit rather than letting off for the first half of the turn. That's very interesting, and that's far different from the other drivers that we have gone on board with so far.
And it sounds like he stays in the gas a little more than the rest of the other guys. They kind of feather it, but Ellison gets right back into it.
Yeah, he keeps on the gas for, I would say, about 1.5 seconds longer. And a track like Atlanta, that's a lot of time on the gas. That's very important. He is coming up right now on Castleberry.
And he's going to waste no time getting around it.
Well, that's if Castleberry doesn't block.
And he's letting up way more than he used to.
Going to the inside right now. This is going to cause something very interesting if they make any contact, but it doesn't look like they are, and looks like Ellison's got it. Almost. Not clear thus far. And now he is now in second in the championship race and in this race overall. He only has to make one more pass, but it's pretty far. Let's see if he can do it.
He has got the lead down to 4 seconds as he gets around Clinton Castleberry. 22 laps to go. This is going to be... in my mind, I just keep thinking, what if something happens with Rhett Tucker and Gabriel Ellison and Clinton Castleberry sitting in third place is able to close the deal?
I have to say, I did say that Ellison would not make it, but given the fact that it's 22 laps and he made up about 2 seconds in 5 laps, I'm going to have to retract that statement. He is going bad fast in comparison to what I thought he was doing. This could be a very close race to the finish.
Now he's got it down to 3.6 seconds. This is just unbelievable. The time.
He is certainly matching the targets I said that he would have to make just to have that chance for winning, and I think he's going to exceed it by far. And you know what happened with that interview in the end of the first stage, you know, I said he had the spirit to just keep on chugging regardless of the situation. That seems to be the case as he is moving to this final section.
So I'm going to go to Rhett Tucker so we can look at lap times. So right now, all right, I'm going to give it to you. The intervals for each of the last 5 laps, okay? Ellison was 0.480 faster, 0.460, 0.341, 0.316, 0.254. It's a slow and steady pace.
That is very, very impressive right now, as he's made about, 2.5, maybe even 3 seconds. That is a closing interval, and that's going to change the end of this race for certain.
Since Ellison went to the pits, he has gained 4.5 seconds to catch Rhett Tucker.
That is wild. He's about 3, maybe in the 2 zone right now.
Right now he's at 3.046.
That is incredibly impressive. I mean, that is just the performance of this race right now. I mean, Ellison's dominance at first, and even though Tucker is certainly leading, it's going to be very, very impressive. And I would have to just say that's probably the most impressive I've seen so far in this race. I mean, Ellison's been on the move. 1 position, and now he's going to have to go for 2, but I think it's possible. I think it's very possible.
We are officially under the 3-second mark here between these two.
That's going to be certainly in the range of passing or at very least drafting. That is definitely how it's going to come out to.
Something happened with Dustin Scruggs.
Look at that right front. That is certainly a little bit of warping.
Yeah, it looks like my statistics told me something happened. He went straight to the pit, so not sure what happened with him. But back up front, Rhett Tucker, 16 laps away from being your Snead Competition Design Xfinity Series champion here at Atlanta. Now,
And I have to wonder what's going on through his mind, especially since these are the final few laps. Is he going to go as hard as he can as soon as Ellison comes, or is he going as fast as he can right now? It's just not enough.
you know what? Let's ride on board. I was going to go to commercial, but this is just too good to leave. I'm not going to be able to leave this. All right, so we're riding on board with Rhett Tucker. We'll see where he's letting off compared to Ellison.
That's going to make the difference most likely.
So he's letting it drop down to about 6,500 RPMs, but he's running that really low line.
That's very low when it comes to how low he gets. I think the lowest we saw so far was 6,700. That is like a good 500 off, like what Ellison had. So either he picks it up. I'm pretty sure he's capable of it. It looks like he has it just in check as of now. I think he can push it a little further, but I'm pretty sure he knows how to. But he's just working it the way he knows.
And here now we're on board with Ellison. We'll see where he lets off. He lets off about a half a second later going into this corner.
Yeah, he certainly is going very aggressive through the turn, and I can see the visible improvement on his lap compared to Tucker's.
And you all can see Tucker just in front of him right there in the middle of turn 1 and 2. That is what he's chasing for his championship hopes.
I have to say, from someone who's driven these cars, it just feels like I am in the driver's seat right now just watching this battle. It is intense, and I am loving every second of it.
It really is, and you can hear it in the engine in this car compared to, I'll go back to Ellison so everybody can hear it. Just a different tone. You hear it, when you listen to Rhett Tucker's, it's very calm and collective, you know, just kind of cruising. But when you go back and listen to Ellison, you just hear, he is getting into it so he can get up there.
Just feels sharper, in my opinion. It just feels like he's going as absolutely hard on as he can, and it's electrifying to watch from like the perspective of someone who just has to broadcast it. It's really interesting. And I believe we're under 15 laps to go.
We are at 12 laps to go. The gap now 2.10.
Wow, that is going to be a little bit to surmount because it looks like the pace has dropped off for his gains, but he still certainly looks faster. See if we can put that to the test.
This is just unbelievable. How
Certainly,
great
this is certainly unbelievable. I mean, this is just out of the ballpark intense right now. He is making the move, but you know, Tucker has to be thinking he almost has this locked up.
Man, so this is it right here. These two drivers, Rhett Tucker and Gabriel Ellison, have been the show week in and week out with these guys. I think a total between them both, they only didn't win 3 races in the whole season.
Because I believe you said Ellison's had 6 and then Tucker had 5. That's 11 out of 14. Yeah, that is certainly a lot of races being won in a full season where up to 35 drivers are competing.
Yeah, and I believe it was Tucker that had 6 and Ellison that had 5. Ellison would have had 6 had he not ran out of gas in the earlier race in the year.
But at this point, that is a non-factor. It's all about who can finish first right here, and I still don't see Ellison in that frame, but I can assure to the audience right now that he is certainly making some moves.
Ellison has only gained 0.10 since we last looked. So he's not gaining as much as he was. Let me pull up the lap times, go back to Rhett Tucker so I can see. So he's down to, he only gained 0.028 and then 0.048. Oh, and this time by, Tucker was faster.
That's not good. That might be the beginning of the end for his championship hopes. He may have worn himself out trying to get there, but that just could be the case as Tucker has just been cruising. Alto's gone as hard as he can for about 7 seconds worth of distance.
Yeah, exactly. All in all, Gabriel Ellison gave it everything that he could. And now,
certainly,
one of our Clinton Snead Up to 4th position.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
and
a-
we've got a wreck.
Is that
Dylan
gonna be caution?
Falovich. Oh, man.
Is that going to be a caution or not? Wow.
I don't see a caution yet. No caution yet. Caution is out.
Caution is out. Wow.
This changes the entire game. We've got to go back and see what happened. This is unbelievable. This is unusual, and I am just.
Championships, hopes and championship tempers. I mean, it's showing right now. I wasn't expecting it to happen. Wow, this is the championship complexion entirely changed.
Because now this is going to bring Clinton Castleberry closer to Gabriel Ellison and Rhett Tucker. Now it brings Gabriel Ellison up to Rhett Tucker's rear bumper. And the question is, they have one set of tires left. Who's going to come in and get those, and who's not?
It's going to be the most intense pit road that we have seen all this race.
Yeah, we will go back and take a look at that. Actually, we'll go back right now really quick and see what unfolded with Dylan Falovich. Oh, Clinton's really loose.
He got loose. Wow.
Oh. And Falovich had no idea that was happening. Wow. But Falovich didn't hit anything, so that should be pretty good for him.
He'd have to take tires due to that burn, it looked like. But is he going to get the lucky dog, or do you guys not do that here?
They do. But my question is, Okay, so pit road is not open yet.
I suppose in the meantime, we could do that advertisement you were speaking of.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so we will take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have two options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Snead Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
We're back here at 10-4 Broadcasting, bringing you the last 5 laps of the Snead Competition Xfinity Design here at Atlanta. The leaders have still not chosen to go to pit road.
And it's going to be the 48 of Falovich who does.
Yes.
And of course he has to. I mean, that burn that we saw coming from that replay, I think it was necessary as well as that damage. So it's going to be unfortunate whether or not he gets the lucky dog. We're not 100% sure, I believe.
It doesn't look like he does.
And that may just be the championship hopes coming to an end. So long as there is another caution, I mean, that was not for, like, first or anything. That was for just, like, 5th or 6th, and I know that Snead got loose, but
yeah.
Wow.
And that's the other thing. Dylan Falovich is 2 laps down, so I'm not sure where he lost the second lap. That time that he got penalized must have really held him up a long time.
It's very unfortunate for his race. He was running well. He was in that top 5 into that pit cycle, and, you know, you were saying this earlier, the nerves in this race, you know, that's causing a lot.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised. In all honesty, if I was Clinton Castleberry, I would have came down and grabbed those 4 fresh ones, because he would be so fast compared to these guys. He'd have 20 laps of fresher tires over these guys. Probably about
he would
close to
certainly
30.
be at the advantage.
Yeah.
And he would be, I believe you said he would be the dark horse to this earlier,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, he would certainly just rock this series by getting that victory. And I believe he very well could have, but you never know. He could be just saving it up for this end. As you know, that Tucker and Ellison duo, they've been going as hard as they can. You never know if they're just going to wreck and give Castleberry that championship.
That would be, oh man, what a wild finish. 3 laps to go. We're going to go green with 2 laps to go. So basically, we're going to have a green-white checkered without it purposely being a green-white checkered.
That's going to be very interesting, and can't wait to see the way these drivers race this final segment.
And make sure you stick around after the race. We're going to be interviewing the top 3 drivers here tonight, and of course, one of them is going to be our championship, and you're going to want to hear that interview.
all bets are off at this point, and who's it's going to be. It could be either of the three or all of the three at this point. You never know. It's
And
going
they all
to be
could
very
wreck.
close.
Something crazy could happen. All three could wreck, and Falovich ends up passing them for those last 2 laps right there at the finish.
If all three of them wreck, that would be just wild. But it looks like pace car's coming off this time, and we're going to have 2 laps of adrenaline-packed racing to conclude this night and this season.
And Tucker is going to lead them to the green flag. It's to his advantage. He is the leader. He will choose when to go. And he's going to try to catch Ellison off guard. And green flag is out. And oh, Castleberry a little bit back there. He's struggling.
He got into the wall.
Oh, Ellison in the wall.
That could have been it right there. Was that a tire spin or something?
I
Wow, that
believe
was
it
bad.
And Tucker has a huge lead.
Tucker may have just done it right there in that move and that restart. Everyone's passing Ellison right now.
And right
A
now,
crushing blow.
Rhett Tucker is your leader. Nathan Rogue in second. Clinton Snead in third.
Snead made a great recovery from that incident.
He really did. He gained up pit road. He probably had those 4 fresh ones.
He may be able to get up to second as the race concludes, but
I
wow.
believe he will.
He's going to most likely be able to do it, but when it comes to the leader, it's going to be Tucker all the way for this championship.
Rhett Tucker. I'm going to tell you right now, David. Oh,
and
Clinton
Snead.
Snead.
Wait, but he still made the pass.
Wow.
Wow.
What? Huge battle back here for second place. Snead coming out to prove his place here tonight.
And he does it. He's going to take second, but the championship
Tucker.
goes to Tucker. Wow.
Your championship. Look at him sliding across the line. Look at that.
Wow.
He knew that he had it, so he had to
125 laps, and it all comes down to that. Tucker is your championship winner for this year. Wow. Season, rather. Wow. That was just something else.
That is going to be a fun interview. He is always a pleasure to. He's just gonna have. He's gonna love this. You know, this just tops off his season. 7 wins on the season, brings it home. Wow.
That is just an amazing performance. The way he just waited for his opponents to fall, and he played his cards right, and that's how we got to this position. Amazing right there. He's just gonna get pushed all the way, and let's see if he can do his burnout right now.
Yeah, Clinton Castleberry, his teammate, also running for that championship, finishing in 4th. Great run by him all night. And Ellison has got to be heartbroken, finishing 6th here tonight.
Such a great race he had. He dominated those first 2 stages, and he dominated that first segment of stage 3, but you know, unfortunately for him, but fortunately for Tucker, it all comes down to that final lap.
Now, I want to go back to that final restart. I need to go back and take a look at that really quick, because that was just unbelievable. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna be on Gabriel Ellison, the orange car to the outside. You see Clinton Castleberry get loose right there, and right there, oh,
That was horrible. I would assume that was a tire spin, but I can't tell from this angle.
It definitely was. Actually, let's go on board for that. I'll be able to hear the engine. Oh,
Yeah, that was certainly a tire issue right there. Wow. How unfortunate.
And it all comes down to that. And Red Tucker still tearing it up here at Atlanta.
He won that championship after a long, hard battle, so you know what? Why not?
See if we can't. We're gonna move these guys into the.
See if we can pull them to the booth.
Yeah, let's. We're gonna go ahead and pull in Clinton Snead coming home. Oh, Rhett Tucker actually just blew it up. Does that count as a disqualification, Clinton?
I guess so. I guess the checkers done fell on this one, so good to go.
Well, Clinton coming home strong in a second place finish for the season finale here at Atlanta. It really just kind of really tops off your season.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that I put myself in that position to even use that last set of tires, and I feel bad for Dylan and Nathan. I don't know if he got caught up in it or not, but I just got loose off the turn there, turn 2, I think it was, and yeah, I mean, fortunate I had another set of tires, and maybe if I got loose off of 2 coming to the checkered on the white flag lap. If I would have had a good corner there, maybe I could have caught Rhett, but he had a pretty good lead on us at that point. So yeah, we'll take second, and I don't know. I think it's my best finish this season, probably.
I think this might be the second or third time I've interviewed you, so you're somewhere in the top. I know that.
Yeah. I've been podium a few times, but hadn't busted through for a win. But shout out to Rhett for he had an awesome season there and deserves a championship.
And I want to ask you because I know Gabriel has got to be tough on himself right now. I know he's your teammate and everything. What was going through your all's communication during that last restart?
I mean, we were just talking about how to try to stay with him there, and maybe something can happen. All it takes here is one slip, one mistake, but I think Gabe just spun the tires there on the restart, along with basically everybody but Red, it seemed
That's
like.
True.
And yeah, I was trying to weave my way through that, and so it's tough on old tires here, and they don't take long to be old.
Yeah, I was really
definitely.
surprised that the other leaders didn't try to, take those last sets that they all had, because I thought if I was Clinton Castleberry, I would have taken that risk.
I would have may as well given the championship right there. I would say that was worth it, and I know that you took that and got up to second, so I was wondering whether or not they would. I believe you had the right choice right there. So
I was the only one with an extra set, I think. We only had 3 changes for the race, and I think everybody took them both at stage breaks.
Yep.
And they're halfway through that last stage, so I think I was the only one with a set of stickers laying. And yeah, if I would have had another 2 laps, I would have drove away from them, but certainly not how I wanted to get there.
Well, hey, a second place is second place. It's a good way to end the season, to prepare for next season. And anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys at 10-4 Broadcasting for putting this season on. You did great coverage, and we appreciate that. Everybody at NASRA, Michael and Brady, Keith, Taylor, all those guys, they do a great job at running a league. Obviously, Snead Competition Design and 423 Racing for helping me with some tips and paint schemes here and there. And we're gonna try next season. We're gonna do a little Thursday night racing with some market cars and trucks, and should be a good time.
Can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And want to remind everybody to check your all's website out to get signed up for that. Check out your Facebook. Contact you guys if they have any questions, because that'll be starting up May 3rd, I believe, right?
May 6th. Yeah,
May
the first.
6th. Okay.
I guess it's the first Thursday in May. Find us on Facebook, Thursday Night Throwdown. We're also on Grid Finder and stuff. But once you get there, go to our Discord and get signed up. We're gonna have a good group.
it'll certainly be an interesting season of Thursday Night Throwdown. That is for sure.
Yeah, it will. And a lot of these same guys, I think, are going to go join us. So, we've proven this season that we can have some great racing and good green flag racing, unless I screw up, apparently. And then, it should be a good time.
Well, congratulations again, Clinton, and thanks for bringing us on for this whole season. We're excited for that Thursday night throwdown. I keep calling
Throwdown,
it
yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it, and congrats again to Rhett on his championship.
All right, thanks, Clinton.
Thank you, guys.
That was Clinton Snead coming home in second place in that number 49, and now the moment we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you your 7-time winner this season and your championship winner for the Snead competition design. Rhett, you made it.
What's up, Tim? We got her done, buddy.
You did. That last caution though scared me.
It scared you.
Yeah.
I wasn't sweating the whole race until that shit came out.
That was certainly something else.
God, I was way too comfortable and then got way too nervous, and yeah, that's how it goes.
Even
Now,
with that being the case, you did come home with the championship, and you made the moves necessary to come home with it. You got to say, that was very impressive. The dominance from Ellison, that was a lot, and you just happened to make your way through.
Dude, I had no confidence in that. Like I as you can see, man, he ran away in the first stage. Second stage, I hung with him for a little bit, and the third stage, before our pit stops, I ran him down, and I was about to pass him when I came into the pits. I don't know, dude. The low line came in. I could, in practice, all week, couldn't run it on the bottom. But at the end of the race tonight, the bottom was where, sure.
it was very interesting in that last segment when you went to the pits and Ellison stayed out. I knew it was all bad for Ellison because the lap times you were throwing down compared to what he was throwing down, 2-second difference. And with that, it gave you like a 7.5-second lead with him coming out.
Oh yeah.
And he wore those tires out. We did an onboard of you and then an onboard of him, and you could just see in your driving it was calm and it was like you're on cruise control. I don't know if maybe it's a certain hack that maybe iRacing has where you just push the cruise control button.
my main, I don't know, my worst part of my driving is when I'm out front, I will mess up. And like tonight, championships on the line, money's on the line. I had to just kind of manage it. Like, just as long as I didn't hurt my car, I could still do something with him if he got to me,
I mean, he certainly wore those tires down. I mean, they were like just about done. We could hear it from the engine that Ellison was running. It was hard on, and for the first half of that segment after the pits, he was certainly running you down. But at the end of the day, you got the championship, so you certainly did something right.
Thank you, man. Yeah, he was running me down fast, no doubt. My right front tire at the end of the first stage was at 40%.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I had to learn how to preserve that and start using my right rear. And running the bottom is how I did that. I could get on it, get the car pointed where I wanted to go, and I could get on the throttle sooner. It just, I don't know. I wouldn't have learned that if I wasn't running behind Gabe, because that's where I could figure out how to be faster than him.
Well, I mean, it's got to feel good to come home with the championship. Congratulations again from all of us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, you guys at 10-4, Clinton Snead, NASRA. I just want them to know that me and the RTR boys are coming to the Thursday night throwdown to claim another championship.
Oh, boy.
So they better get ready for that. I got to thank Clint Castleberry, man, having a killer season.
Oh, he had a great night.
Yeah, I think he got second wrapped up in the championship. Dustin Scruggs, Nathan Rogie for running with us tonight. There's some truck guys, but they came out and ran with us. That was cool. Malware Bites, Prosper Engineering, Primary Jeeps, Hummers, and Argos. And that's everybody that watches. My girl April, she's sitting here next to me.
Yeah.
she supports me every week, man.
Every week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Well, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you at the Thursday night throwdown.
Yes, sir. See you there.
Well,
see if you can go
David,
2 for 2
what's
there.
that?
Let's see if you can go 2 for 2 with Thursday night throwdown and here as well.
yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see that.
That would be interesting if he's able to pull that off. Well, David, your first race here on 10-4 Broadcasting, and it gets to be a championship race that was so exciting down to the wire.
I have to say that was certainly not what I was expecting coming into tonight, because in all honesty, I had no clue that this was a championship race. I got a little bit caught up with life, and I knew that I was going to end up doing this tonight, so I wanted to see what was going on. So that's why I asked you about it, and wow, this was a thrill to just watch and commentate. I've been wanting to do something like that for a while, so it was very fun to get the opportunity to do so. Wow. I really want to see more of this going on, and I hope that Thursday Night Throwdown has something going on with the 10-4 guys, because what you're doing is great. I mean, you've really been helping me out just learning this, even through just one night. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to see this. This was something else.
Yeah, they have brought us on board for Thursday Night Throwdown, so make sure you guys, May 6th, first race will be on 10-4 Broadcasting. We'll be bringing you the ARCA race and then the truck race right after, and you're not going to want to miss the action because those ARCA cars have a different damage model than these Xfinity cars that we've been watching, and you just don't know what could happen to your car in those ARCA cars because you could tap the wall and lose an entire fender and really mess up your night. And people have to be more consistent and cautious with those cars. And if the guys with Rhett Tucker showing up, you know it's going to be good.
The ARCA cars are a different thing. I've ran a few official races with them where I've gotten like 4x and major damage before the racing starts.
Yeah.
Someone drops a fender. It's something else. So
Yeah.
I have to say it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers manage it. They've been driving these cars pretty well, but it's a different beast with those ARCA cars, the way they interpret.
Yeah, well, from everybody here at 10-4 Broadcasting, I want to thank you for joining us all season long. We hope that you come back for next season when we start May 6th with the Thursday night throwdown at, I think it starts at 7. Don't quote me on that. I don't have my notes in front of me. I forgot to write those down. But we hope you will subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you